ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Starladder Season 8, Day 9, Game 2. We've got our second match of 3 here with Virtus.pro to get things kicked off, and now they will be facing off against the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. We just saw a rough Game 1 between Virtus.pro and Poseidon, and now we'll get to see how Virtus.pro fare against the Belarus team. I'm Zyori, again with me is Merlini. Merlini, what's the good word here?
Virtus.pro's turn to
I
pick.
wonder what VP is thinking going into this game. I wonder if they're going to stick with the Doom pick. I don't think the Doom pick was that bad for them. Oh, actually, Power Rangers made it out. They've done their research. But yeah, VP just... I mean, that just has to be so incredibly demoralizing as a team. When I mean, I'm pretty sure they were very comfortable with their lead. And they were... I wouldn't really say they didn't capitalize on the opportunity. They just took so many poor engagements. It's not like they were very passive about it. They were trying to end the game, but they just totally screwed the pooch and took bad fight after bad fight after bad fight after bad fight. And the only one good thing they did in the last 20 minutes of the game was just pick off Doom or pick off Alchemist in the mid lane. Forcing him to buy it back, and they still weren't able to capitalize on that. So they kill Alchemist one more time in 6 minutes, and the game is over. But they weren't able to do that, and they weren't able to stop any of the 5 Roshans too. Teams generally have to be better about Roshan control. I remember I watched Liquid the other day, and they had a lead versus Fnatic, and they still gave up 3 or 4 Roshans too. So team and lead should almost always have Roshan control. Giving up 1 or 2, maybe they smoke, maybe you're trading a tower or something important for Roshan, and that's okay. But giving up 5 is completely unacceptable.
Yeah. I would agree with that. Yeah, every Roshan just sort of went the other side's way. It was surprising because they had an Earthshaker. I mean, Echo Slam is one of those kind of go-to abilities when it comes to Roshan pit fighting. But, we'll see how they fare this time, see how their draft changes. They are going to grab the Venomancer in this match, but Power Rangers did start off with a bang. First pick, Bristleback. Pretty exciting here. Going to get to see some Quills go out, and they're going to second pick Rubik. 2 first and second pick heroes that we don't see all too often, perhaps. Again, Visage going to make it through here.
Yeah, first pick Bristle, it's not that bad. I guess I don't think it's good when there's a Visage in the pool, but it's not terrible. Teams don't really seem to know how to play against it. I think Timbersaw actually does very well versus them because he can get in and out of the fights and kind of dodge quill stacks. He also has a ton of armor, so he's not that affected by goo and such, and his pure damage goes through the Bristleback too, and the strength reduction, also very, very useful for Bristleback. So I think Timbersaw's a very good pickup versus him, which is one of the reasons why I don't necessarily like an early Bristleback pick. But at the same time, if they're not going to pick Timbersaw and they're not going to punish it, then by all means.
How do you like Necrolight as a potential counter to the Bristleback?
I don't particularly like it because this Necrolight has to be in the fight, and he's also highly dependent on mobility and positioning in the fight. It may not actually seem so, but I play the hero a lot, and if you can't move around in fights, the hero is just so useless. And if Bristleback just sits on him with a hood, there's nothing that the Necrolight can do. Yeah, he can mech up and heal and be annoying, but he is just going to be slowed. He gets focused down very, very easily. He can't bounce in and out of the fight and get rid of quill spray stacks. He usually just gets demolished. And there used to be, way back in the day, Bristleback actually used to be a very top pick, and so did Necrolight. And sometimes teams would pick Necrolight to counter Bristleback, but this was when Bristleback was much, much weaker, and Warpath was not as strong, and Quill Spray was also not as strong, and Necrolight, he hasn't really been buffed that much in the way of team fights. Death Pulse is still the same, Heartstopper, maybe slight buff and AoE, but that doesn't really matter in a team fight when Bristle's on you. Sadist changed up, not really that much of a difference for team fight, and Reaper with Scepter got changed too, as well as some of the mechanics behind getting a kill. But in terms of things that actually matter in that matchup, it was not that great before, and now that Bristleback is better, it's even worse.
Okay, I see. I only ask. I haven't casted any games where Necrolight's been picked, but I've seen in some of the Asian Dota that they've run the Necrolight a few times. So just curious, Luna though going to be grabbed here by Power Rangers, so obviously hoping for a little bit of safe farming there for the Moon Rider. And Earthshaker going to make a showing here once again for Virtus Pro. That Earthshaker Marana combo seems to be something that they're dead set on making work, perhaps.
They didn't really use that combo too often. Like how many times did we see that in lane, or they actually gave a first blood because they weren't actually able to execute the combo? So I think if they wanted to run a Potom, they can just go with something very easy to execute, such as a Bane, or Bane, Shadow Demon. Those are both pretty easy heroes for them to utilize. But if they think they can make it work, then why not?
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, that combo, it actually didn't work well for them in the laning phase. It almost seemed to be sort of that bittersweet, hey, we got this crazy combo, but they didn't seem to be able to line up the arrows too effectively in the early laning phase. But Earthshaker did have a pretty driving role. He was able to grab a pretty early blink in the last match, so see if they can do that again. But Queen of Pain going to be picked up as their 4th pick. Kind of curious. Well, I guess it could be a safe lane Queen of Pain or a mid Queen of Pain.
Mid Queen of Pain. G really likes that hero, and he plays a pretty good one too. And the immediate puck pickup from Power Rangers.
Yep. Puck does fare quite nicely against the old Quap there. Always a good hero. Nice bit of team fight synergy as well. Power Rangers have a pretty nasty team lining up here. And by nasty, I mean in terms of damage output. A lot of team fight here. Bristleback, Luna, and Puck. That's a lot of AoE damage they can put out.
Yeah, it's pretty scary.
Yeah. Virtus Pro as well, I guess.
Yeah, if Power Rangers wins the laning phase, like VP is gonna be pretty tough for them to come back during team fights. Well, I mean it's VP's is nice, but like what do they really have versus a Bristleback that just like runs into the front? Well, looks like Necrophos will be the solution. So we'll see it firsthand here.
Yeah, I'm glad I brought that up. All right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't think it works out too well, but from what I've seen, it hasn't worked out too well. But maybe VP can show me how it's done.
Yeah. So we're looking at a solo safe lane Necrophos, Venom, Marana, Earthshaker, kind of aggressive try. Visage going to be the final pick for Power Rangers. Can never go bad with a Visage pick, or never go wrong with a Visage pick. Probably going to be a tri lane with the Luna. I don't know. Hard to say. They could tri lane the Bristleback or the Luna. Moon going to be playing the Luna, so will be a hard farming Luna for sure.
Yeah, usually offlane, solo offlane Bristle is the standard.
The standard.
The standard.
Should be interesting. I'm really excited to see this Necrophos. That's really a nice trait. I sort of brought it up as just something I've seen on occasion, really not thinking it would happen here. So I'm going to be curious just to see how he builds and what items he goes for. I mean, probably mech first, that kind of basic survivability, but yeah, pretty exciting.
10 seconds.
So you mentioned the scepter change. What did they change?
5 seconds.
If you have the scepter and you ulti someone, they can't buy back.
Oh, right.
If they die in that couple of seconds.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I got it. I was looking at the damage. I was like, yeah, it still buffs your damage, cooldown improvement, all that stuff. But yeah, now that you say that out loud, I remember reading that in the patch notes. Sort of an interesting change.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, let's introduce our rosters here, as it looks like we know sort of how our lanes are going to go, and not quite the way I would have thought. Down in the bottom lane here, we're going to have on the side of Virtus Pro, of course, playing the Radiant. Arzark going to be on the Earthshaker once again. Light of Heaven going to be playing on the Marana once again as well. Looks like they may be stationed about the bottom lane. Right now, Illidan is the one on the Necrophos. He's down bottom as well, but he may rotate possibly up to the top. We'll see. JOTM going to be on the Venomancer, who is headed to that bottom lane as well. And, of course, God on the Queen of Pain, who is going to be solo mid here in this matchup. On the dire side, we have Team Power Rangers. J4 going to be playing on the Rubik. Moon going to be the one playing on the Luna. And F-God going to be on the Visage. All three of them going to be at a long lane, tri-lane here. In the mid, ZXC going to be playing on the Puck. And it is going to be solo safe lane Bristleback, played by the Cheshire Cat. So a safe lane Bristleback after all here, Merlini.
Trying to get my rares off this bot, and the bots aren't working. What a shame. Anyways, yeah. Looks like they might be an easy first blood AA in a lot of trouble. Ton of trouble.
Yep, there's the telekinesis. He is going to throw a fissure, but going to be hard-pressed to survive that one. J4 going to grab a little pick-me-up here on the Rubik to start things off. Things
That's
already
just a
going
very
well.
bad positioning by Earthshaker. He can't stand right there. If he stands right here, he doesn't die. But instead, he stands over here so they can approach from the fog. You cannot let rain. You cannot let a tri-lane just approach you from like 200 to 300 range away before seeing them. That's just a big mistake by AA there. And I guess he was like worried that someone might go on him, but that's what observer wards are for. They have this like really weird observer that's like in the trees and won't get dewarded, but it's not actually a useful ward. Illidan in a lot of trouble on bottom too.
Oh, yep, there it is. Necrophos very well may be the second kill. Down he goes. Solo Necro can't do a hell of a lot against this tri-lane. Got the tail end of it. I was checking out that ward you were talking about. Arzart just barely making it back to lane.
Well, it wasn't. It was pretty much the exact same way that Earthshaker died, except Rubik has boots now, so it was a lot easier than it was. I guess it was about a similar easiness, but this bottom lane disastrous. And if Necrolite gets a really bad start versus the Bristleback, not that they're in a heads-on matchup, but if they have a bad start, then Necrolite is going to be really bad. But at the same time, if Bristleback gets a really poor start and Necrolite does okay, I don't think that Bristleback is that much of an underdog in that matchup. So all in all, things are going very, very well for Power Rangers right now. And VP, they had to secure a farm for Illidan, but it looks like he's going to die again.
Illidan, they set the trap for him, and no way he's going to survive. This is just a complete disaster. So what do you do here? I mean, Necrophos at this point, let's look at the levels. He is level 1. He's got absolutely nothing.
I think you switch Queen of Pain and Necrolite at this point. It's not great because Puck will do pretty well versus Necrophos, but it's better than your Necrophos still being level 1, 2 minutes in the game, just constantly dying and dying and dying and dying, and I don't really see it stopping.
Yeah, I mean, he still doesn't have a single creep kill to his name.
About to die.
Yeah, I'm looking at it here, and he is just in no man's land. He's going to throw a fissure, going to try and eat his way through the trees, but looks like it's not going to be enough. There's the telekinesis. One more auto attack. Oh, all right, J4 going to finish him off. Almost a close call right there, but Necrophos going to come back down to the bottom lane. A port going to come in. It's going to get canceled, probably for better. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Moon doesn't have enough for another Lucent Beam, but still, plenty of burst damage they can put out here.
Well, Power Rangers just absolutely crushing VP in this early game, and this is where it's really important for them too. Like, VP doesn't have like a comeback lineup; they have a kind of a snowbally lineup, and PR has definitely the strong team fight comp, I'd say. Necrolite's like okay, Venomancer's okay, but compared that to like a Luna Eclipse, Visage, who's just good at everything, and a Puck for team fight control, that's just really, really difficult for VP to deal with. And if PR comes with an early death ball, I'm not sure. I'm not confident in their chances. ZXC, ooh, nice phase shift there.
Yep, gonna be able to make it back to the courier. We see the Veno was smoked up, looking for an opening, but didn't find it. So well played by the Puck. Let's take a look at the gold graph, see how things are faring already. Power Rangers up by about 2,000 gold, 1,500 experience. Not too shabby. Cheshire Cat doing okay in this top lane as well now that Veno is left. Going to give him a little bit of farming room here. He's going to be 11-1 and 16-2 Light of Heaven. But Arzart and JOTM are rotating their way back to the top lane. And it looks like they may want to put some pressure on the Bristleback, but still, Illidan just completely zoned out. He's level 2. And has nowhere to go. Can't really farm the jungle that effectively. Can't farm the lane because he knows the enemies are just hiding somewhere nearby looking for another opportunity to mess with him. Oh. Poor Necrophos.
I mean, and Bristleback is like, he's not really that scared on top. Oh, he might actually die right here. Okay, it's just as I say that.
Yep. Cheshire Cat destined to fall, I think. A few more quills.
He took all of them down to half HP without even playing aggressively. This was like a pure defensive Bristleback, so it's still very scary for them. It's so important for VP to get on the board right now, though.
Yeah, that will be their first kill. It is good news, but Luna just farming away down here. He is going to go Midas first. Following those brown boots, does have the recipe in the bank. No, not surprised to see that whatsoever. Moon has a lot of space here. He's going to be able to grab a nice early tower kill as well.
Yeah, this is really bad for VP. And with the illusion runes too, it's actually a pretty good rune for right now because it helps them tank a few tower hits. There is no creep wave coming around. F guys should have dragged the creeps a little bit earlier, but still looks like an easy tower for Power Rangers. Trying to play aggressively on ZXC and mid. There is the AA closely to follow behind. G does not have his ultimate yet, and his ZXC is at full HP, so there's almost no way that he's going to die. G is doing a very good job of CSing in mid. It looks like he's just right on par with ZXC. And on the top lane, Bristleback is very close to CS with the Priestess of the Moon, Light of Heaven. So all in all three lanes going pretty well for Power Rangers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Mirana's farming okay, but Bristleback was in a 1v2, so the fact that he's even sort of holding his own against the Mirana is definitely good news. Necrophos is jungling here. Now level 3. Did grab himself a hard camp kill, but J4 going to be in a little bit of trouble here. He's going to throw the telekinesis on Queen of Pain. God going to hop forward, and I think J4 going to be destined to fall right here. Out comes the Fade Bolt. He's just trying to buy some time. Visage going to come in. There's the Lucent Beam on God as well. Neutral. Oh, nice. He did fall to the neutral. You're exactly right. Queen of Pain falls in the mix, as does JOTM. Power Rangers clean it up. They make it kind of a 2 for a half, I guess. Not quite a 2 for nil, because Rubik still died, but completely denying that gold difference. Now, I have a mechanic question.
Oh, go for it.
If you die to a neutral and you're nearby, do the heroes get experience for that death shared with neutrals?
No.
Or anything? It's just totally denied experience, 100%.
Yes.
Even with the new experience change? That's the only reason I asked.
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just curious.
You could probably check from the XP graph. Yeah. I think, I'm fairly sure it is.
Yeah. I think it all gets denied too, but I just sort of food for thought with that change. I don't know. Would be kind of
PR's position was really good. They were like Rubik was sitting up the hill, and again walking like up the hill during nighttime is never a good proposition. I thought it was going to be easy kill on Rubik too, but G uses Blink very offensively, and only level 1 Blink on there. On that hero it's just very risky, especially this early in the game, especially versus a heavy damage dealer like Visage who can punish you. And again, Visage is just an extremely strong hero. Look how much he's been dominating this tri lane. Mostly it's been Rubik setting him up, but still Visage is there for the slow, for the damage. Already 2-0 and 4 brown boots. He's been buying wards too. He has a medallion. We're talking about 7 minutes in too, and that's just ridiculous. This is before his familiars too, and people think that, oh, Visage is just not that strong without his familiars. He's extremely strong without his familiars.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Luna's farm, though, is what's really out of control here. That net worth chart. Oh.
They almost initiated on him, Fissure, and then G tried to blink on him, but he was just out of range.
Oh.
He has a TP scroll, so I don't think he would have died. Actually, with Queen of Pain Ultimate, yeah, he definitely would have died.
Yeah, but Moon's farm is just out of control here. Going to keep using that Midas. Pretty high on the net worth chart relative to everyone else. About 4.5k versus the 3k of Priestess of the Moon. Leading farmer of our Radiant side, but God may find himself in a little bit of a rough position here. Moon and F-Guy going to rotate into the mid. But the Queen of Pain just going to head towards top. So now Bristleback might actually be the one in a little bit of trouble. He did go for a safe lane bottle. Kind of an interesting choice on the Bristleback.
It's good when you need regen and you can't afford anything else. Like if you need a Ring of Health, it's useful. Oh, yeah, he's getting rocked.
He's going to take an arrow. Down he goes. Port was going to come in. Actually gets canceled.
He was facing the wrong way.
Yeah.
He needed to face towards the trees, towards that Venom ward over there. But yeah, if you're too poor to afford like a Ring of Health or a couple of Ring of Regens, which is only useful if you don't take a lot of burst damage, then I think it's perfectly okay to go bottle. Because if you get like Scream of Pain once, like you're already like at probably like 3/4 HP. You need to be able to get back up ASAP so they can't burst you down. Even something simple like Mirana right clicks, regen is a little bit useful for that, but for really quick and small burst damage like something like Fissure, it's very useful to have that bottle to get back into the game, especially if you're in a very difficult lane too. I think it's good. It's underrated, I'd say.
Yep. This mid-tier 1 tower taking a lot of pressure as well. Looks like it is going to get denied by Virtus Pro, but still Power Rangers grabbing the second tower kill of the match. Going to further their gold lead a little bit here and deny another one of those access points. That mid-tier 1 tower, always a central port. But gold graph continuing to go way in favor of Power Rangers, kind of as we'd expect here. About 5,000 gold, 4,500 experience or so. Things continuing to get worse and worse for Virtus Pro. Necrophos, he's been a little bit quiet. Illidan's still trying to recover. He's only level 5, but slowly and surely now has a magic wand working towards those power treads.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to find positives here, but I was really excited to see Necrophos like demonstrate how well he can counter the Bristleback.
Oh, here they go with the invis, but they already have a Sentry War set up. They're completely prepared for this.
Yep. So it is the Moonlight Shadow, only going to be on for another few more seconds. The Familiar is going to come over just to let him know that they've got some vision. And as you mentioned, Power Rangers kind of a step ahead right there. Very nicely done.
Yep, gold lead, 7,000, 10 minutes in. That is extremely, extremely bad for them. And with the early medallion, and oh, G may die here.
Almost. Fisher gonna buy him some time, but now Power Rangers have a 5-man crew up to the top.
Yeah, they can do Roshan pretty soon too. They just need this tower, and then they have pretty good, I mean very, very good Roshan control with the minus armor from Bristleback as well as a medallion and the damage from Luna. Oh, F-God just gets wrecked.
Yeah, he's gonna get obliterated, but as will Light of Heaven. Rubik gonna steal the Queen of Pain ulti, gonna throw it. I don't think it connected with much. Out comes the Puck ulti as well.
Why
Dream
did
Coil.
he jump on that?
Yeah, I don't know. Puck really overcommitting, but Necrophos just gonna get killed by the Familiars. Oh man, at least makes it a 2 for 2. Puck and Visage for the Necrophos and the Marana. Pretty even exchange, I guess, when it is all said and done, but poor choice there from the Puck for sure. ZXC dying in a very, very forward position, stuck in no man's land. So maybe an overextension from Power Rangers there.
Still, VP getting 2 for 2 kills. That's a very, very good trade for them at this point in the game. Problem with Necrolite is he's also not a comeback hero. Like, you need to be ahead in order to be able to use Reaper Scythe in order to constantly stay alive with Sadist kills, in order to stay alive so you can Heartstopper people, in order to stay alive so you can Death Bolts constantly. If he dies early on in the fight, it's just so bad, and it's a very, very wasted pick, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely right about that. He's definitely a momentum-based hero, and he can farm pretty heavily once he gets rolling, but those initial few, like kind of pre-level 6 is when he's weakest for sure. And we just saw him sort of slowly grind his way up in the jungle. He at least now has the Reaper's Scythe. He's going to be close to that level 7 mark, so Death Pulse heal a little bit better, but still, he is really underfarmed, underleveled, pretty much everything else under the sun. Power Rangers staying aggressive here. Their 2 supports going to be smoked up, looking for an opportunity, and oh, they're going to find it. Illidan going to be the targeted choice. Familiars come in. Telekinesis. Down he goes. Moonlight Shadow gets used, but not going to be enough.
Disappointing.
Poor Necrophos. And when he had to be scared to farm like that, there's no way he's going to be able to get his mech at a reasonable timing. And without a mech, the hero is like, he has 900 HP. Just 1 Dream Coil, he's going to die. Luna already has her HOD, already started with the Ancient stacking too, so her gold lead is going to be insanely huge compared to Light of Heaven, who doesn't even have a Midas yet. Comparing G to the Puck, Puck has his Blink, but no treads. G has his treads and part of his Necro Book, so I think that is like the only lane that worked out decently well for VP, but that's an even matchup, so that's to be expected.
Yeah, the mid-tier. I mean, Queen of Pain is sort of the saving grace for Virtus Pro right now, number 2 on the net worth chart. But other than that, I guess Marana is still hanging in there, about 3.8k on the net worth chart as well. But if you compare that to the counterpart of Luna, basically getting doubled by the Moon Rider. So, yeah, Moon playing a pretty solid Luna here. He had a lot of room to farm, and not surprised to see him starting to take off. We'll see Power Rangers move into Roshan. You did point out that pretty early Roshan would be a possibility. And Rubik still hanging on to that Sonic Wave. Down goes Roche. Aegis of the Immortal now going to end up in the inventory of the Bristleback.
Dire's top tower is under
Bristleback,
attack.
actually, does he have an item hiding somewhere? He must, because there's not much in that inventory. No, maybe not. I thought his farm was a little bit better, but just power treads and a bottle really is all he's got.
Yeah, I thought he was hiding something too, but...
Dire's top
Oh, he has a
tower
casual
is
vid
under
booster.
attack.
Oh, okay. The math
Dire's
doesn't
top
add up here.
tower has fallen.
Alright, yeah, there it is. So he's starting to get a little more scary. Going to be close to that Vanguard if that's the item route he wants to go. Of course, does have that stout shield already. But Power Rangers going to group up about the bottom lane here. Looks like they do want to pressure this bottom tier 2. Virtus Pro in a position to try and defend it. A couple of wards down. They do have their 5-man team here. Echo Slam ready. Earthshaker fresh on the level 6 mark. Eager to connect with a big Echo Slam, but of course without an initiation tool, going to make things a bit more difficult. God going to be initiated on here, Puck and hop forward, but oh, ZXC going to eat an arrow. Not the initiation they were looking for, though. Bristleback comes in, Dream Coil still comes out. And it is going to be a 2 for 0. Or pardon me, a 2 for 1 as Puck did fall. And Power Rangers may back out. So still finding the better of the exchange, though, unfortunately for Puck. Oh, he just got wrecked as soon as he hopped in. Nice arrow coming out from Light of Heaven.
Yeah. Got a phase shift. But, yeah, he... At least he got his coil off, which was very important for him. And maybe if, like, familiars were in, like, a slightly better position, then he would have been able to survive there. But overall, still not bad. 1 for 2. And it's not going to stop them from pushing down this tower.
Ooh, arrow. Gonna connect with F-God. Juking backwards instead of left or right. There comes the fissure as well. Unfortunately, the follow-up just isn't there. I mean, they've got the Queen of Pain, but she's only level 9 as well.
Yeah, now it's a 5-on-4. Power Rangers, they don't want to give up their early lead. It's just too risky. There's no point in taking this extreme amount of risk when you're this far ahead. They're up by 7,500 gold. By no means insurmountable, but at the same time, they do need to keep up the pressure on Illidan as well as the rest of Virtus Pro, because they don't have any Midases. They don't have they do have Midas and a HOD, so I guess they can play passively and just let Luna farm up. But again, do you really want to let VP get back in the game when you have this huge of a lead? Cheshire Cat looking to get some kills on bottom. VP also doesn't have any wards out right now. If you look at their vision, it is just completely dark. They have no idea what's going on ever.
Yep. And down goes the Necrophos. Same story, different chapter there. Poor Illidan. 5-2 on Mr. Necro Light. Oh man. Just continues to get worse here. Now Luna going to have that first Mithril Hammer. Probably going to be grabbing a BKB next. But getting the damage item first. Hit a little bit harder. Luna also level 11. I think she was the first to hit level 11 in this match. Bristleback going to hit it as well. But, of course, level 2 Eclipse. Always a bit scary. And again, Power Rangers. They're going to pressure this bottom tier 2. They seem dead set on finishing this bad boy off. Puck holding steady in the mid lane, but Virtus Pro not even going to go for the defense. They're just going to let it fall.
Yep,
in the mid. Puck. Yep, Puck's going to go down. Caught the very tail end of it. So they trade Puck for a tier 2.
Yeah, Fissure, and that amount of burst from Queen of Pain is just huge damage. And yeah, Puck trying to work on his power treads, but not really having that HP buffer that he needs in order to phase shift and escape.
Yep. So with that successful kill there, that will be Queen of Pain's big pickup here. Necronomicon level 1 going to be in the inventory. And also Visage going to grab himself a mech. So that's going to be the other thing in these upcoming team fights. Mech versus no mech. Going to go the way of Power Rangers. And Luna going to get a huge boost here. It's at least 1, 2, 3, 4. At least a 4 stack, if not a 5 stack here. And have a team effort here to clear out the Ancients.
Yeah, Moon is level 12 too. That's pretty ridiculous. Highest level on the side of VP is Queen of Pain at level 11. And yeah, G has been doing extremely well. He's probably like, man, my team. But they really just have not been doing that much without him. Illidan just constantly dying. The Necrophos pick not working out for them, but it's definitely not the Bristleback Massive, just that tri-lane kind of crushing him. And I don't know whether or not VP anticipated for that in their game. It certainly seems like they weren't prepared for it, but maybe it was like a known sacrifice. They're like, well, we'll probably crush the Bristle on back. We can Venogale into Arrow into Fissure block, and we should be okay to kill him over and over again. But it certainly did not work out like that, and I think having an underfarmed Necrophos is way worse than having an underfarmed Bristleback.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. At least Bristleback has some survivability despite items. He can turn his back, spray those quills. Necrophos just melts. I mean, he's got very little presence without items, but he is going to have himself a mech here pretty quickly once he finishes off that creep, so that is good news. At least a big item pickup for Virtus Pro here. Yeah. Power Rangers, though, they're keeping their aggression on, and they're going to take out the last remaining Tier 1 tower for Virtus Pro. Bristleback now has a Hood of Defiance as well to go with that casual Vitality booster he's got set up for himself. And Luna's BKB, I believe, is in transit via the courier here. Yep, that is going to be the BKB. And some fresh wards, so things starting to get a little bit more scary for Virtus Pro. Luna with a BKB is definitely something to be a bit scared of. Fissure comes out to try and buy them a little bit of time, but not going to be too much. All the while, though, Virtus Pro do grab a Tier 1 in the mid and the bottom, so they at least make it a 2-for-2 tower exchange, as they will sacrifice this top Tier 2. Probably a good exchange for them, but still quickly running out of towers here.
VP almost has their Necro 3 up on G, which is pretty good. And PR, they're not that great at split pushing. Like ZXC, if he tries to go for like a solo kill on the Queen of Pain will just Necro book and completely turn around with them. Illidan, Moonlight shadowed up. Looks like they're looking for F God.
Looking for an opportunity here. A couple of right clicks coming out. Support's going to be here. This could transition into a big team fight, though. It is going to be a 5v4. Power Rangers have one down in the bottom. Moonlight Shadow going to get stolen by the Rubik. And perhaps going to try to initiate here. Arzar coming in. He is going to get silenced, though. Not going to be able to get that Echo Slam off. He does burn it. But not going to do a hell of a lot of damage here. He does fall. First to fall in this fight. And now Cheshire Cat starting to man up a little bit. Does not have the Aegis anymore. Did expire, but oh, God. Queen of Pain going to hop back in, and that's going to finish off the two supports of Power Rangers. Now going to be able to grab a kill on the puck as well. Cheshire Cat looking like he's going to fall. There's the ulti from Illidan. All of a sudden, Power Rangers picking up some momentum here. Trying to finish off the Visage Familiars for a little bit of extra gold. Not going to grab it, but it is a 2 for 4. Yeah.
With Necro 3 as well, that's just huge for PR. And PR overextension there, I would say. They were fighting without the Aegis. They're ahead, but not like unthrowable ahead, or like they can definitely still give up their lead. And where was Moon in that whole engagement?
Yeah, exactly. Starting that fight, it's a 5v4. Moon was the one that wasn't with him. Has the Eclipse. Potential for that ability to turn the fight around. So kind of a misplay from Power Rangers.
Yeah, if there were a tower in mid, like the T1's there, then yeah, they can take the fight. Moon can just TP, easy fight for them. But when he's busy off farming up his BKB, they have to be aware of where his team stands and just not take poor engagements like that. Now Necrolight has a point booster who he just got his mech. Now he pretty much has farmed up 2,000 gold after that fight. Earthshaker very close to Blink Decker now, and Queen of Pain pretty much halfway to her BKB. So that fight was just very, very huge for VP, and getting that T2 tower too will shift the momentum of the game a lot.
Yeah, Blink as well as Necrophos now getting a little bit of survivability, and she has a point booster to go with the power treads. So once he grabs at least the soul booster moving towards that bloodstone, may get a little bit more utility. He's also level 11, so that is well, further good news. He was so under leveled for so long. At least now he's getting some experience gain. And that gold graph is going to jump up a little bit, as we would expect. About a 6,000 gold experience lead, 6,500 or so, still in favor of Power Rangers. So they're still in okay shape, but if they do that a few more times, we'll have a pretty even game on our hands once again. And let's see here. Looks like they do want to fight, though. Moon, still with that ulti, does have a double damage in the bottle. ZXC has everything up, does have himself an ultimate orb as well. Going to be working towards that sheepstick. Power Rangers, here we go. Last outer tower going down.
My shadow not going to be very useful.
Yep. So, ooh, some initiation up here at the top. F God, he's going to be in some trouble. Nice Fisher going to block him in. Mech going to come out. In comes the Eclipse. That'll be enough to finish off the Veno. Not going to do too much more than that, but F God almost staying alive. Veno going to be able to finish him off. That poison going to tick him down. Arrow going to fly. That's from the Rubik. Going to connect with God. That should be an easy kill on the Quap. Very nicely done by the Rubik right there. That'll make it a 2-0. Or, pardon me, a 2 for 1. His Visage did fall.
Oh, Chicken almost died there. Oh, no, actually Chicken did die.
Yep, Chicken gonna fall, and I think this tier 2 tower may fall as well. That arrow.
I'm not really sure why F God was sitting over here.
Yeah.
Without vision up the hill. Like, if you're gonna go up there, you need to make sure that they're not gonna wrap around from mine. That's very common for people to do. Bullseye.
Yeah. J4 gonna get nailed by that one. ZXC now gonna hop in. There's some AoE damage coming out. Waning Rift Orb combo. Port coming in as well. Oh, J4 gonna get obliterated. The Necro ult comes out on him as well. Now Moon gonna be in big trouble. He's got the BKB on, gonna try and stand his ground for a moment, but not gonna be able to take the heat.
That was a great buyback by G there.
Yeah. Ulti may have been overkill there, but still gonna secure the kill nonetheless.
Yeah, if he didn't buy back there, they would just take the T2 or kill Earthshaker, I believe they were focusing at the time, and then they take Roshan, and now VP takes Roshan because Luna is down for a good 2 minutes, or sorry, 30 seconds. I was looking at the Courier's down for 2 minutes.
I was gonna say, jeez.
Yep.
But there it is. Luna gonna buy back. Might have been a little bit late though. I don't know if they're gonna be able to get here in time. There's this tier 2 available. He's gonna port to, but this is gonna be a close one. Mirana going to be able to right-click a Desolator now. Going to be delivered thanks to the Courier here. And not going to make it. Necrophos going to be the one to grab the Aegis. And Roshan does fall in the favor of Virtus Pro. Arrow gonna fly. Almost gonna connect. Not quite though. Gonna fall just short of F-God. And now Virtus Pro trying to decide what they want to do following Roche. Do they want to push? Do they want to farm? Perhaps looking for the Bristleback in the mid lane, though he's gonna head for the hills. Wow. So Virtus Pro picking up some serious momentum here, Merlini. That gold lead, only about 4,000. Experience lead comparable.
Yep, they have a minus on the Venomancer too. They have the Aegis on Illidan. Things are going very well for them, man. Necrolite started off 0 and 5, but now 2, 5, and 7. I also think a lot of it has to do with Puck. He hasn't been able to find really clean initiates too, like the one on bottom where he got arrowed when they tried to go for the Queen of Pain, and the one in mid where Earthshaker used his Echo, or tried to use his Echo. He waning rifted him, but then after that they didn't have any follow-up because he blew coil on him too. So he is 1 and 4, and he had a very early blink dagger. A Puck normally shouldn't have this many deaths, especially without any instant tons coming out from VP. They have that Reaper, but you're not going to Reaper a full HP Puck most of the time.
Right. So, oh, arrow gonna fly? Nope, not gonna connect. But Cheshire Cat could be in a little bit of trouble here. Light having it hop forward. That minus armor starting to do some work. The fissure almost blocking him out, but not quite. Moon actually gonna burn the Eclipse right here. Wow.
And this Dream Coil too. Yeah, both the Eclipse and the Dream Coil were just not good. They own the Necro books though. I will give them that.
Direct Courier will respond here, but yeah, that was a BKB Eclipse combo. Now they're going to be hard-pressed to defend this. There is a glyph available for Power Rangers, so they will have some opportunity here, but this is going to be a little bit rough, I think, with those big cooldowns. Stuck on cooldown.
Yeah, it's too early to breach the high ground. They're still at a gold deficit, too, VP is, so there's no way they can take this. They have the Aegis, but it's not enough. They're not strong enough.
Yeah. Necrolight did finish his Ag Scepter. I was thinking it would be a Bloodstone.
Oh,
but
this could be big for them. They're trying to get a kill with Moonlight Shadow, and VP definitely doesn't see it coming, but now they will.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Virtus Pro going to be retreating a bit too quickly for Power Rangers to catch up. And a noble effort from the Rubik, but unfortunately not going to be able to make it happen with the stolen Moonlight Shadow. Still a pretty...
I think Cheshire Cat should finish his pipe instead of whatever he's doing. Looks like he's going to finish a... Heaven's Halberd first, but the pipe is so good versus Queen of Pain. It's so immensely good versus Venomancer, Necrolite, Priestess of the Moon, and Earthshaker. It's just amazing versus their lineup, and it would really go a long way for them winning their team fights. Not really sure why he deviated. Yeah, I know he had the casual booster early, but the Sage is not very useful. He can't walk up. He is often kited by Venomancer, and he can't really just like walk on Shaker too. He'll get stun locked.
Yep, I agree. Every single hero a pipe could be useful against. Definitely.
Yeah, he has the gold for it too, so
absorb a lot. Yeah, the Sange, it could just be, I don't know. I mean, it's got to be a Halberd. I was gonna say it could just be a casual Sange. I don't know why he would do that though. Seems like sort of a weird choice.
It could be S and Y.
It could be. It very well could be S and Y though. I think you'd be hard pressed to argue that that'd give you more utility than a pipe here in this situation. But
yeah,
could very well be possible.
They need to keep the ancient stacks going too. Moon has been kind of lazy about it these past couple stacks. They did very well with the first one, but since then it's just kind of sitting there. Yeah.
So other item pickups here on our Radiant side, looking for well, anything else? And Venomancer did grab a Hand of Midas, which
BKB on Queen of Pain very soon.
Yeah, I don't know we mentioned, but Veno will have an Ags before too long here. Does have the point booster, about 500 off the remaining pieces. And yeah, you're right about that. Queen of Pain also level 16, so that level 3 ulti going to be a bit more powerful. And yeah, it does have enough gold for that BKB as well.
Yeah, without G's really good Queen of Pain play, VP would be pretty much like close to out of the game. He's turned a couple fights around, and yeah, he's died for it too. But at the same time, he just does so much damage with Queen of Pain, and I think Queen of Pain is underrated. Again, you kind of have to be able to play the hero well in order for it to shine, and G certainly does play it well. Necro Book 3 is also a very underrated build too. It gives her a lot of innate survivability with the 16 strength, and you still do a lot of damage even if you're silenced. Normally, you see Queen of Pain is very useless if they get silenced, and it looks like they just burst it down. Puck on bottom. Easy Blink Echo from Earthshaker, and yeah, the Necro 3 is just extremely good too, and a hero like Bristleback and Luna, where they can't really control the damage because it's just AoE everywhere, they are very likely to kill the book and take that last will damage, which is actually very large.
So that'll be that last outer tower. Only one outer tower remaining. It is that middle tier 2 for Virtus Pro. And that should close this gold lead even further. Now just about 1,000 in favor of Power Rangers. Really negligible at this point. And we'll see Virtus
And a
Pro.
breach of high ground. They have like 30 seconds on Aegis, so it's a really good time for them, especially since they picked off Puck.
Yep, and no glyph available for Power Rangers. Tier 3 melts. Now Moon gonna get caught. Oh no, Moon gonna fall before he can even break the stun. That is bad news here for Power Rangers. Is there a buyback for the Luna? No, there isn't. Coming up in 5 seconds. The damage has already been done though. God gonna hop forward. That'll be the end of Cheshire Cat. Oh, this couldn't be worse for Power Rangers right here. Visage now in big trouble. Puck is back. God may fall right here. Down he goes. Mech gonna help pick him up just a little bit. Now Illidan in a little bit of trouble. The Eclipse finally comes out from Moon. And Moonlight Shadow as well. Gonna buy Illidan a little bit of time. Did have a regeneration.
HP from the Aegis.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Aegis. That's it. Wow.
Oh, well, easy Rex for them, and they get a lot out of it too. And one really important thing is that Roshan isn't going to respawn while VP is back and regrouping. So that's one of the best timing for pushes that VP could have asked for. Like really, very close to the Aegis expiring and not a threat of Roshan respawning, and they also forced a buyback out of Luna. So that's really, really big for VP. And they were fighting from a gold deficit, I think, before that fight. But taking a Rex when you're like very close to even gold is pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So Bristleback did indeed go for the Heaven's Halberd, as we were talking about, not the SNY, not the casual Sange. Interesting choice.
Oh boy. Get the hood, man. Your team needs it. And that, see, something like that, it would have saved, maybe not would have saved Luna, but it will prevent her from getting into that Reaper range, which is very devastating, and will prevent her from getting down when she's locked down by magic, because they don't have any Force Staffs on their team too. Rubik went for with a greedy, very greedy point booster build. Visage going for a also greedy Scepter build without getting Force Staff. So you need Force Staff to save your carry. And Moon was off to a very, very hot start with one of the earliest Midases, and with an early HOD, he was stacking camps. He had a very fast BKB, but it all started with this one fight where they fought without the Aegis, they fought without the Luna, they get wiped there, they lose a T2 tower, and all of these bad things started happening after that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Moran is getting out of control. Desolator, BKB, and a Demon Edge right now. Starting to get pretty stacked, but here we go. Initiation. They're going to go on the Necrophos. Mech going to get popped right away. Dream Coil comes out. Both sides completely laying into each other. There is now a Lincoln's on top of Moon. That's going to help him out a little bit. Will be Puck for Venomancer to start things off. Quap ulti going to come. That'll finish off the Bristleback as well. Looks like Power Rangers not going to be the victors in this fight. Luna going to be the only one left alive. And not for long. Arrow going to be off the mark. Moon just going to stand his ground. Recognizing he's going to fall anyhow. Ultra kill coming out for God. A 1 for 5. They trade their support Veno for every single member of Power Rangers. Think we're close to a GG here, and there it is.
Turnaround.
Virtus Pro.
Both of these games have been turnarounds.
Yeah. Look, I mean, just look at that gold graph. It's that is a valley if I've ever seen one. Wow. So Virtus Pro, I don't know what the vernacular is for when they do the opposite. Virtus not throw. I don't know. They, wow.
Power Rangers taking a lesson from VP.
Yeah. So Necrophos ended up making a recovery, though. He ended 3-5 and 15, so got off to an unbelievably slow start, but they were able to turn it around, and he was able to make some solid recovery for him. So don't know that it was really his doing, but as you mentioned, God, sort of the MVP in this match on that Queen of Pain, ending 11-5 and 6. That one clutch buyback that turned that team fight seemed to be the beginning of the snowball rolling down the hill for Virtus Pro. And alas, they do take game 2 of the day here. Now we have a third game coming up. Virtus Pro will be in it once again. We'll see if they can take their record positive here. They are going to be going up against the team that we don't know much about. It is Red Pandas. I don't think we've gotten to cast them yet, Merlini, so should be an interesting one. 4 more games of Day 9 Starladder Season 8 coming up for you guys here on Beyond the Summit. Stay tuned.